Okay, I think we have enough people now to kick this off. I'm just trying to, these buttons aren't working properly. Work. It's all right. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yep.
Yep, all good.
Okay. Okay, I can't seem to, I have to just jump out of this quickly to get my video to show. What's it doing to me? Come on. Meeting controls, no. There we go, got it now. Start video, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. It wouldn't let me do anything for some reason. Kick that back off again. Okay, so, so yeah, as usual, thank you to all of our affiliates for dialing in tonight. What have we got? Just check numbers. I can't see numbers on that view there, but I think we've got enough. I think we've got about 60 people now. Thank you to all of our industry associations for your involvement. I think, yeah, we went through it last meeting, but welcome again, particularly to the guys over in South Australia. Thanks for joining us tonight, and I hope you get something out of it. Thank you to our corporate members. So for the guys in Adelaide or Canberra or any of the states outside of New South Wales, corporate membership is just a way for businesses to, I guess, give back to the industry in some capacity. So what we've done is the corporate membership money goes back to our education fund that we've got, which supports the cadets and supports helping to develop future material for or in conjunction with TAFE. So if you're keen to support the future of education, then yeah, become a corporate member, and that's where your money's going. Okay, so tonight I'll run through some updates that are happening in the industry. Then we've got topic one is H2X, plumbing design and calculation software. And then after that, we've got Rehow Clean Water Solutions. And then we're going to announce the hydraulic cadets. There's 3 cadets that have been awarded positions for this year, and that'll be Rod Ware running through that. Okay, so yeah, we celebrated 1 year about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So yeah, we finally made it through. I think a year and a half ago, there were a few of us wondering what was going to happen, but we've made it to 1 year, and yeah, we're really happy with what's happening. Member certificates, a few people have asked, where do I get my membership number from? So when you download your certificate off the website, you can, yeah, you'll see your certificate, sorry, your membership number on your certificate, and that's on both the CPD certificate and your member certificate. I haven't actually updated this since last week because we have sent out a few more emails, but since our last meeting, there was the performance solution templates that went out, an industry update on education. Yeah, there was Sydney Water Food Industry Pre-Treatment Guideline, C14 applications. So we sent a letter out. There were some of our members have been waiting 18 months for approval by the New South Wales government, and we sent a letter out, and within 2 days, they wrote back to us and said they were reviewing them all. And I believe everyone that was listed in our letter has now had their application assessed. Not everyone's been approved, but at least we got a reaction after trying for 9 months. I think a few of our members had been emailing every month for over a year and hadn't really had much of a response. So good to finally get a response back there. So the new building and development certifies regulation, which is obviously only applicable in New South Wales. Yeah, the rest of it I'll run through in here. So reminder, we've got our LinkedIn forum. I think we're getting more and more people on there, but if you have something to share that you've found out that you think other people won't know about, please jump on there and share it, because at the moment it's majority me putting posts on there, but it's there for any of the members to jump on and put a post. The performance solution templates, we did go through this last meeting, but we did create some performance solution templates on behalf of the members, which are available on the website under the performance solution tab, which are in relation to box gutters over 16 litres a second, eaves gutters over 16 litres a second, valley gutters, flat roofs, and water system pipe sizing. The water system pipe sizing is for sizing hot and cold water outside of AS 3500, and the proposal is to use the data that we're collecting, which was presented at our last meeting, to show that we can use recognized international standards as an alternative method to pipe sizing, until such a time that AS 3500 hopefully has an opportunity to review those calculations based on the data we're collecting, and look at updating them in different areas. And there's a sixth performance solution that has also been added, which is Gebrit's SuperTube template. That's also available on the website. So thanks to Gebrit for sharing that with us. Okay. Oh, so that's the tab, just for anyone that wants to go and find them. You do have the email, but what we will do, if anyone has any suggestions for improvement, let us know. We'll update the template, and then we will load it back to the website so that the website always has the latest version available. Hydraulic diploma is starting online this month, or supposed to. Because of COVID, there's possible delays, but I think Rod Ware will update us all a bit more on that.
I was going to say, can I jump in and
go
add
for
something to that? Do you want to do it now or later with the cadet stuff?
No, you can do it quickly now.
All right. Well, look, I've literally just got off the phone with TAFE about half an hour ago. It's a bit of a moving goalpost, this one. What has happened is the diploma itself won't be starting this semester. TAFE have been trying very hard to get that happening, but the majority of people, or almost everybody that's shown interest in doing the diploma, aren't actually qualified, so they need to complete a couple of units to be able to enrol.
Mm-hmm.
So TAFE are going to enrol everybody in the design, or the hydraulic design stream, Cert 4.
Yep.
Anyone who has done their operation stream after their trade will get credits for the subjects they've done, and they will likely only have probably 2 or 3 units to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that term 3, the plan is to get all those people sorted out, and then by term 4 this year, the diploma subjects will kick off. So they've had a hard time, TAFE, and they've done a great job so far, but they are struggling not so much with the course content and what they're going to deliver, but the compliance side, and making sure they're ticking all the boxes in case they get audited. So apologies if it's a little bit of a delay compared to what we thought it was going to be for everybody, but rest assured it is happening, and a lot of people working very hard to get it going. So
yep. Okay, thanks for that, Rod.
Mm-hmm.
And then a reminder, if anyone wants updates on education, we've got an education email address, which is education@hcaa.org.au, and then Rod will give you guys the latest updates on what's happening, because it is constantly evolving with the current climate.
Yeah, and I have just been preparing a letter today that I'm going to put on that forum, the HCAA LinkedIn forum, and also distribute to all the people that have given us their emails so far, so that hopefully will spread and the word will get out.
Okay.
Thanks,
Rod. So this is just an update. Again, this presentation is still quite Sydney-centric until I start to get a bit more feedback. I obviously live in New South Wales, so a lot of the information I receive is from people in New South Wales, but anything happening in other states that we should be talking about, because I know a lot of people cross borders or do work interstate is probably more appropriate. If you're aware of things that you think members should be alerted to, let us know. If you think a particular state's doing something better than another state, or something not as good as another state, then let us know and we'll add that in to these presentations. So this one, Section 73 that one of our members got, where Sydney Water have said that their sewer mains at capacity. And yeah, basically there's been too much development in that area. There's a couple of possibilities. One is to upgrade the sewer main, which would be a great cost to the developer. or engage, it says here, the services of a hydraulic consultant will be required to develop a solution to ensure that no wastewater flows from this development enter Sydney Water sewer system in wet weather. So anyway, this is the first time I've heard of this, and it's just a bit of a heads up that, you know, this could be something that pops up in the future on one of your jobs. Yeah, if it happens to you, let us know what you did, and we can share it with the members. Okay, so CPD, we've updated our CPD policy. We've increased it. So I've got a little bit of a list here. The email did go out, but the main changes, really, without going through each point, is that we've made it easier to achieve your points, but we've increased it from 15 points a year to 25 points a year. And that's in line with the New South Wales government's requirement for an accredited hydraulic certifier, or any certifier in New South Wales has to have 25 points. I'm not aware of mandatory CPD anywhere else yet, but I do believe it will be coming in each state. So if the requirements are higher than that in any state, let us know, and we'll always try and make sure our CPD is working in with whatever state it needs to. So on top of that, we got some questions from one of our affiliates in regards to CPD for consultants. So is it a system which is currently running? It is. So on our website, we've got a CPD tab for affiliates to have a look at if you want to. Is it required to keep your qualification? Yes. But currently, as I mentioned before, only in New South Wales, but I believe other states will make it mandatory. So the requirement in New South Wales is every 12 months, you must have 25 points. The general rule is you get 1 point for every hour of face-to-face training. And at the moment, do we have a accredited CPD events? No, we don't. Our CPD scheme is approved by the New South Wales government, or I should say fair trading. So you can only, when you go to renew your accreditation each year, you can only be via an approved CPD scheme. And then our website tracks, so when you log into these meetings, as long as you've pre-registered, you'll get a point, and as long as you attend the meeting, you'll get a point for attending the meeting. So you can log into the website, check how many points you have. But if you're an affiliate, what we're trying to do to give you guys more value during this current situation with, you know, limited access to businesses for face-to-face meetings, we're proposing to launch these fortnightly CPD events. So ACO are going to kick off a session next week. So the plan is HCAA will send out an invite via the website, as in an email invite. You book in to attend the lunch and learn, and we will then add those points to your CPD list on the website. But what we're asking for is affiliates to, so that'll be via Zoom, just like this meeting is, and we're asking for affiliates to contact us if you guys want to hold a CPD session. Just tell us what you'd like to talk about, and we're going to try and put a bit of a schedule together so that yeah, we can advise members in advance of what's coming up. Okay, so yeah, so this is an example of what ACO are doing next Tuesday. So yeah, that way we've got a chance to advertise it tonight. We'll see how it goes next Tuesday, but if you're interested, let us know, and we'll try and arrange something for you. Okay, so this is a new document that came out last week. We did send an email out, but it's a discussion paper. It's not set in stone. I don't think if this does happen that this is at a national level. They've got to deal with all of the states. I do think they've got, I think this has been discussed a few times over the last 20 years, but I do think they've got much more chance of getting it through now than they have previously. But the main thing for us in our hydraulic world is the proposal states there's 3 levels of qualified individuals within hydraulics. Degree qualified, they're saying, if you read the paperwork that we sent through, a degree qualified civil engineer. They don't talk about any other disciplines, just civil engineering. And I think might say, it does say in there, civil, hydraulic or water services, which they don't exist anyway. So over here on this wheel that I've stuck the picture in, essentially they're wanting to rename us plumbing designers instead of hydraulic engineers or hydraulic consultants. And that's for diploma qualified, and then Cert 4 qualified plumbing designer level 2. So you can see on this wheel here, plumbing designers can't do performance solutions, degree qualified can do anything, and Cert 4 can only do buildings up to 6 floors. But can't do performance solutions or building over 6 floors. So this will affect each state differently. I'm conscious that New South Wales and Queensland, we've had the diploma around for decades. A lot of other states haven't had access to that diploma until recent years when it was put online by Queensland TAFE. But we do want your feedback on this, and what we're proposing is to hold a separate forum to discuss this topic in more detail, because it's not, we just don't have the time to do that tonight. So I've put here some possible suggestions. Removing water engineer and add mechanical engineer, because we do have some members. I think the bulk of our members who are degree background would be mechanical engineers. We do have a couple from a civil background, but the bulk would be mechanical. We're also, at the moment, we would propose for diploma qualified plumbing designers to be renamed hydraulic designers, because hydraulics is a word that we've used for close to 50 years now. And then provide 2 levels of hydraulic designers. Level 1 is 10 years experience and can do performance solutions, and level 2 is 3 years experience deemed to satisfy only. And then certificate 4, we're just either leave as plumbing designer, or again, if you're in a state where you've never had access to the diploma, write to us and tell us what you think should happen, or attend the forum that we want to hold on this particular subject. There's one more screenshot here. This is just for those of you who have friends that are plumbers. I have sent this to the master plumbers in Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, and then Tassie this morning as well. But basically, the document proposes that plumbers cannot install hydrants and hose reels. You can see at the bottom of the page there, which I believe in the majority of states around Australia, plumbers do install hydrants and hose reels. So that's, you know, some feedback. I think the master plumbers should get behind this as well. I can pause there if anyone wants to jump in and throw any questions in or suggestions now. We can have a quick 2 or 3 minute chat around this, or otherwise I'll move to the next slide. Nothing? Okay.
Nick wanted to ask, Leon from Master Plumbers wants to ask a question.
Yeah.
Is that going to get attended to later, or
no, he can. Yeah, go ahead. Leon can ask a question. You there? I can't hear you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we go. Got you. Hey, Leon.
Hey mate. Just a quick question. Does the BPP accreditation is that the equivalent of a degree in terms of?
Yes, exactly right. So with the BPB, which I'm going to get to shortly, they've been dissolved, and as of the 1st of July, they're now fair trading. So the same group that registers builders and plumbers and electricians are now registering engineers as well, or engineers and consultants. But yeah, you're correct. Not green, sorry, yellow. So to be qualified under the New South Wales scheme, you have to have a diploma as your minimum qualification. I remember when I did my certificate 4 many years ago, when I started life as a plumber, I thought we were told we could design up to 4 floors, but maybe it is 6 floors. But yeah, the current requirement in New South Wales is a diploma. We did have feedback from one member, and this is something we've discussed for years, is whether we develop the diploma into an advanced diploma. But at the moment, because we're working off volunteers, we can work with TAFE to develop an advanced diploma, but our number 1 priority was to get the diploma back up and running, which is, you know, we're here. If it wasn't for coronavirus, it would be running this month. But you know, we've got the diploma. You know, it's taken us 4 years to get here, but we do finally have it up and running. And once we're confident it's been running for maybe 12 months, we can then look at modifying that course to become an advanced diploma, and then that apparently allows you entry into Engineers Australia, which again, that mightn't be what we want, but again, it still brings the qualification up to that level 6. So that's, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's kind of where we're at the moment.
And Nick, just on that, I mean, to create an advanced diploma means
Yep.
creating the framework behind, not just the course material, but the actual framework with the Australian government before you even get into that. So really big process.
Years of work we're talking there, like that's about a 4-year process.
Oh, well, you know, what are we up to? A couple of years just getting this diploma going, and the framework was already there.
Yep.
So gives you an idea of how long that might be. I think, you know, if we get to a point where we want to pursue something more than the diploma, then it might be worth looking at degrees again. But I think the difference being previously we had talked about doing a standalone hydraulic degree, and that didn't stack up. It probably never will.
Yep.
But if we were to investigate piggybacking off a mechanical degree, sort of like the civil structural do, then that might be something that might get legs in the future. So watch this space in 5 or 10 years.
Okay. Thanks, Rod.
Nick?
Yep.
Just a quick one. Just so you know, the SA District members, there's a few of us who have organised a meeting with the Master Plumbers on Thursday,
okay,
as well as with our authorities, the ATR.
Yep.
Go through. We're wanting to get something back to you, hopefully early next week, with our recommendations.
Yep. Okay. No, that'd be great. And then I do have a meeting booked with Master Plumbers Queensland tomorrow for half an hour, just with a couple of the members there to discuss this issue as well, just as far as it affecting plumbers. But yeah, we I think to arrange a discussion on a national level is definitely a really good thing. So all right, we'll wait to get that feedback from you. Thanks, Derek. Okay, so next was our warning for, I mean, there could be people from Perth practicing in New South Wales as well, but this is all these changes in New South Wales law. A few of the guys from Adelaide dialed into the committee meeting last week, so I apologise if I bore you with this again. So fire practitioners in New South Wales, as of the 1st of July 2020, practitioners must be accredited, so you can no longer design wet or dry fire systems in New South Wales without being appropriately accredited. How do you get accredited? I'll get to that shortly. So on this particular slide here, maybe I'll look down here, so I'm looking at you all. So the Buildings Professional Board have now been disbanded, and they are now fair trading. What we were referring to as a C14 hydraulic certifier has now just been called a certifier hydraulic building. So the categories, I've highlighted the relevant categories to the diploma or degree qualified members if you were applying for accreditation, but there were C14, 15, 16, C3 and C4. So now you can see there, that's fair trading. They're actually all the same staff. They're in the same building in Parramatta. They're just all wearing different shirts now. So not much has changed other than the name in reality. And then I put X's there. So you will hear this language change, which again, particularly if you don't live in New South Wales, but you're practicing here, it probably confuse you a lot with references to BPB and fair trading and all these different categories. So this is part of the Act. There's a few different acts, which I'll get to in a second, but under Section 55 of the Act, a registered certifier who holds a certifier hydraulic building class of registration may carry out regulated work comprising the endorsing of plans and specifications. So how that works is over here. You can see there's the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act 2017. That calls up this legislation in regard to fire practitioners. The word competent fire safety practitioner has been used for about 4 years, but that's now being renamed to a fire practitioner. So again, that language will still hang around for a while, but that's the new wording. But a hydraulic certifier is registered under the Building and Development Certifiers Regulation. So where that becomes applicable is over here at the moment, you must have a diploma as a minimum to become a qualified hydraulic certifier. Over this side, as a fire practitioner, the only scheme that exists is run by the FPAA, and that's called the FPAS scheme, which is the Fire Protection Accreditation Scheme. You do a short course, you do an assessment, you provide your insurance, and that current renewal is $1,750 a year to renew your accreditation with the FPAA. With the New South Wales government or fair trading, you must have a diploma as a minimum. You must have 3 years experience. You have to do a 4-day certification short course with the University of Technology in Sydney. They're the only uni that run the course. That course is $3,000. You have to do 3 assignments, and you also have to sit a test. It's kind of like going back to school again. And then the annual renewal with the government is $750 a year. And you carry 10 years personal liability for design. So if you change companies or the company you work for goes bust, you have to carry PI for 10 years for any jobs you signed off on as a hydraulic certifier. But so it's pretty scary stuff. We're still seeking legal advice on exactly what that liability is, whether it's a $10,000 fine from the government or whether it means a body corporate can actually sue you. But to think that if you're asked to sign off for a design for someone else in your company, and then you could be personally liable for someone else's design, it's going to make people think a lot harder about what they're signing off on. So that's just something for people unaware. So this is how it works: is most of our members are going to be accredited over here under fair trading. And being accredited over here allows you to sign off as a fire practitioner, but some of our members will be accredited under FPAS, and that's their little logo for FPAS. So that's how you become a fire practitioner, to do for our members to do a hydrant or sprinkler design in New South Wales. There are some of our members that do dry fire designs. The only way to be accredited for dry fire, so there's a smoke detector, you have to be a degree qualified electrical engineer. So anyone who's done a fire diploma instead of a degree, unlike the hydraulic guys, the guys with a fire diploma cannot become registered to sign off on dry fire under this building and development certifies regulation. What really needs to happen there is the government needs to be lobbied to provide a separate pathway for the guys with a fire diploma. But at the moment, if you've got a fire diploma, the only pathway to sign off on dry fire for you is under FPAS. So again, I apologize if I'm boring people that aren't practicing in New South Wales, but there's some pretty significant changes. Within the company I work for, ACOR, we've got 400 staff Australia-wide, and we currently have no one who can sign off on, I think I'll have the slide coming out later. We've got no one that can sign off because I am accredited under the government scheme, but our insurance policy was rejected because we are excluding, or our insurer is excluding non-compliant products. So they're very strict about insurance policies, and we cannot find an insurer at the moment that's willing to give us an insurance policy that meets the New South Wales government's requirements. So we're currently in negotiations with a few fire contractors who have been accredited under FPAS to sign off on our designs, but that's how mad the legislation in New South Wales has gone. This one was a bit of a warning. Again, this could be happening in other states, but I've only been advised of this happening in New South Wales. So Fire and Rescue New South Wales, this was a job that I worked on. They did an inspection, and we actually showed the hydrant in the corner here, but the plumbers installed it there within probably 300 mil of the door. The fire brigade have said that because the hose connection is within 1 meter of the door, that's a non-compliant installation, and they've requested the plumber to move it back into the corner, which the plumber has now done, and they've ticked off on it. And you can see in the corner, you would get the meters clearance. But if you read the black and white interpretation in AS 2419, it doesn't call up a meters clearance to a door. So it's one of those gray areas within a standard that, yeah, just to be aware of that this is the way the fire brigade are interpreting it. And when they turn up at the end of the job, they do have the authority to stop, or in New South Wales at least have the authority to stop the job from proceeding. So that's what the AS 2419 shows, a meters clearance to a handrail. Yeah, but yeah, you can interpret it as you like. And then this was another job, which is a contradictory assessment. One of our members defected the plumber because the hydrant was facing down the stair instead of towards the door. and then the accredited certifier on the job, the A1 building certifier, which in New South Wales, they sign off on the whole building. They back the plumber on having that facing down the stair, which is a slightly separate issue to the one I just showed you before. But again, there's differences of opinion here that the code doesn't clearly spell out. But to me, having it face towards the door would make more sense. There's more than a meter's clearance in that installation. But again, just some different opinions out there in the industry. So yeah, this is just a reminder: the cadets are being announced for tonight, and the sponsors this year have been Ream, Vega, and HCAA for those 3 cadets. So congratulations to you guys, but we'll touch on that again later. So I don't know if this email has actually been sent yet. I did do a draft of it the other day, but there's all 5 versions of AS 3500 or ASNZS 3500 have been sent out in draft format for comment. All comments can be submitted to inquiries at hcaa.org.au. The documents, as I'm aware, what standards have done this time to help people out is they've given 2 versions, a clean cut version and then a version which has edits in it so that you can see clearly what has changed. So I'm not aware of anything particularly controversial in there that's come up, but yeah, if you guys have any comments, send them through to us and we can present them to Standards Australia. The latest gas code should be coming out for comment in the next month or so. So keep your eyes out for that. There are some relatively big changes in there that I'm hoping to present maybe as a separate meeting to members to run through those changes. There's a couple of other draft documents that are coming out at the moment. So we've got one here on heated water systems, calculation of energy consumption, and then the ABCB have produced one on warm water systems. Again, both coming out in draft format. So if you guys are if anyone's keen to have a look at those documents, let us know. And yeah, it's still yet to be seen how those documents are going to be referenced or used, but it's just a bit of a heads up that they're coming. Okay, so this was the insurance policy bit that I told you about. Again, if you want to register yourselves in New South Wales, non-compliant, non-conforming, I won't run through all that, but what I was told is a non-compliant product, which is what our insurer is currently excluded. An example I was given was a ColourBond roof sheet being used on a wall. If it's designed to be used as a roof sheet and installed horizontally, it can't be installed vertically. Again, I don't know if that's true or not, but what the insurer is saying is we won't insure you for a product that hasn't been installed as per its design intent. So where the New South Wales government is saying, well, the only thing they'll accept excluding at the moment is cladding, which is obviously in relation to the fire issues that have been happening with non-compliant cladding. Okay, non-sprinkler protected buildings. Oh, this was I left this in from the last meeting, but what I was going to say with this is, if you are going to use this bracket from protector pipe, you will need to consult your fire engineer on your job as well, because I don't know that it strictly is. Someone just raised this after the last meeting. I don't know that it's strictly in compliance with 2419, but your fire engineer can easily reference that as a solution instead of having to use the vermiculite spray in option 2 there over the brackets, which also has to be signed off at the end of the job anyway. So I have to I actually didn't finish I didn't load the photo in for the dodgy photo, so I'll have to save them for the next meeting. So I apologize for people who sent photos in. I didn't get around to that. So yeah, we'll move into our first speaker for the night, which is Johnny from H2X. I guess if I throw my little 2 cents worth in here, the reason we got Johnny in to talk about this, he is one of our members. I've known Johnny for a few years now. It's a really smart, enthusiastic young guy. He started this business. It to me is a product that has never existed in our industry as far as pipe sizing software. There is software available from overseas that I have tried before, and I think there was an Australian made one, but I've never used any software that I think is intuitive and easy to use. And yeah, that was just my little 2 cents worth to throw in that. I thought, you know, it is an opportunity for a new product that or solution for us for QA purposes and other reasons that I think can really benefit anybody designing hydraulic systems. But I'll leave it to you guys to decide what you think of it. And I'll let you take over, Johnny. You can either, do you want to take control of my screen, or do you want to load your screen up?
I'll share my screen if that's okay.
Yep. Okay. I'll stop share, and then you can.
Okay. Oh, it says disabled.
Allow. Ask via chat. Ask to start video. Why is it not letting me do this?
I can just take control of yours if it's easier.
We did this earlier today and it worked fine, but maybe.
It says it's disabled. Maybe there's.
Maybe there's admin settings in this one. All right, I'll share my screen again.
Oh, it's working now, actually.
Oh, you got it? Okay. Maybe Emily jumped in and sorted it for us.
All
Okay.
right.
Yep. There we go. Excellent.
That all good. All right. All right. Appreciate the kind words, Nick. It's nice. But yeah. So hello everyone. My name's Jonathan. And yeah, today I'll be presenting H2X, which is a new and exciting plumbing design and calculation software. I'll just turn my screen on actually. So you can see the video. Cool. All right, yeah, so just before we get into it, I'd just like to introduce the founding team. So some of you may be familiar with me already. I am a hydraulic engineer, so been in the industry for nearly 5 years and been involved with the HCAA a little bit as well, like Nick mentioned. Past couple of years, I've done a couple of presentations on the water demand committee, so I'm pretty involved in the industry, and the reason I got involved with H2X is because I just wanted to combine a couple of my passions, which is technology and hydraulic design. It wasn't much of an opportunity to take hydraulics into technology, but bringing technology into hydraulics seemed like there was an opportunity there to just bring some benefits to the industry and improve on some inefficiencies, which I'll talk through. Unfortunately, Andy can't be here tonight, but Jordan is on the line. Some of you may have spoken to him already in regards to the software, but I'll just quickly pass over to him so he can introduce himself.
Hi everyone, thanks for having us today. My name's Jordan and I'm working closely with Jonathan here at H2X. I'm actually a civils guy myself, currently working as a quantity surveyor down in Melbourne. The reason that I'm passionate about H2X is because I've seen a very similar transformation in my own line of work, going from using traditional methods back home in the UK to joining a firm over here who uses advanced estimating software throughout the company. And as I've witnessed sort of firsthand the benefits of adopting new technology, I hope that you guys find H2X as exciting as I do. So yeah, please listen carefully. We'll take questions at the end. I'll also stick our contact details into the chat, so feel free to reach out if you'd like to know more. Thanks very much, and I'll hand you back to Jonathan.
Cool. Cheers. All right, cool. So yeah, I suppose the best place to start off with the presentation is just an introduction to the software. So start off with why H2X. So provides a solution to an inefficient workflow that is generally followed by the industry when we're designing and calculating water systems. So just to work through the problem in detail, the process starts when we receive an architectural design. We then need to draw out the water system, measure the pipes that we've drawn, and then we need to quantify the different components of the system. Next, we'd manually transfer the information into a spreadsheet, and it's commonly not just one spreadsheet. We'd typically have a spreadsheet for flow rates, pipe sizes, pressure loss, and hot water return, and potentially some others too. Then finally, we need to transfer the results manually back onto the design. So most obvious observation with that process is it's time consuming. It's also very tedious. And not only that, there's a significant risk of human error, which is a lot of information that we're manually transferring to and from spreadsheets. And it's also very difficult to review with the calculation results being in a separate location to the drawing that the results are shown on. And inevitably, the architect's going to redesign the building, and it can be problematic. It wastes a lot of our time. I think we're all familiar with it. Usually results in us needing to just redo the calculations and start from the beginning. And quite a surprising stat is that almost a third of construction defects come from design phase of a project. And upon reading more about it, it's pretty much to those 5 points listed above that contribute to these defects. And it's not thought to be a lack of competence by the engineer, but it's just more of the processes. There's a lack of time, lack of organization, and just a lack of an effective review process, really. So what does H2X do about this? Put it simply, it just replaces the traditional design and calculation process that we just spoke through with just one simple step. And that is, you draw out the system and calculations are automated, and that means the results are just provided instantly to your design. And the last piece of the introduction is, how does it do that? And the answer is parameters and properties. So, for example, when you draw a pipe using Bluebeam, you'd be familiar by selecting parameters such as like the thickness and the color of the line or the pipe. Whereas in H2X, it's a bit more technical. So you would you select parameters such as the maximum velocity, the material. Then when you go to connect to a fixture, that has properties, which is loading units, minimum pressures, maximum pressures. And then when it comes to the flow rate and pipe sizing, again, there's just another parameter. So whether it's the Australian standards, Barry's book, or the DIN, or one of the other international standards we have. And I'll just go through the process diagrammatically. Starts, the drawing is to scale. So when the user draws a pipe, length is automatically measured. And that then means when the fixtures are connected to the pipes, the flow rates are updated instantly. And we'll see it again here as we connect another fixture. And I think the beauty of it is that once we know what the flow rate is, it allows us to size the pipes, which is based on a maximum velocity. And once we know the velocity, we can then calculate the pressure loss. Also calculate hot water return systems by just drawing lines, and that then, once we have a circulating system, we can calculate dead legs too. So that's an introduction to the software. Hopefully it gives you a good understanding of why and how it works. Just to get into the details a little bit now, I just want to show you here how fast and easy it is to use. I'll just point out before I play this video, hopefully you can see my mouse, but the toolbar at the top of the screen is absolutely everything that you need to draw out and design a system. So no matter if it's a really complex hospital or real luxurious residential building, or even just a tiny little refurbishment, all you need to design is just shown at the top here. So I'll just play this video and I'll just talk through what's happening. So first of all, we plot the water source. And you'll see on the right-hand side here that we've got some properties such as the minimum, the maximum pressures. That is the start of the calculations. And from there, we just select pipes, and very simply, just click a few different times. With the arrows on the keyboard, we select the different heights as well. And then from there, we just add plant. So in this example, we've just stamped hot water plant on the drawing. I don't know, you probably didn't see it because it was pretty fast, but there's also an opportunity. You can add booster pumps, you can add storage tanks, you can even create your own custom plans as well. So if you've got any filters or anything unusual, you can create your own plans as well and add pressure loss and things. And what we're seeing here is simply how to do a hot water return system. So all you have to do is draw some lines, connect it back to the hot water plant, add a balancing valve, and based on, I might just pause it because I'm falling behind. Based on water temperatures, air temperatures, and insulation thickness and pipe size, all the calculations in the hot water circulating system will be done. We'll see the results shortly. And the last piece of the puzzle, I'll just point out as well, I think we're only a minute in, and it is a small building, but shortly you'll see how quickly the results are provided. So we've used nodes in this example, which we've put loading units against, which you'll just see here. And we just flick to the results at the top. And just looking at all the filters on the right, there's an insane amount of information that comes out of it. We've only got a few boxes ticked because we don't need to overload it, but you can see here the circulating pump duty, return heat loss and pressure drops calculated, pipe sizes, velocities, flow rates, pressures at the nodes. Just pause it again. So that is how quick and easily you can design. And what we'll show now by just coming back into this plumbing workspace is how we can take the design to an extra level of detail. So maybe doing a concept design, you can go with the nodes, but maybe you're doing detailed design or a little bit, maybe construction drawings. So to take it to the next level, there's two things you do, and that is stamp the fixtures. So there was only a few shown there, but again, pretty much every fixture is in the software. Literally just stamp it where they need to be over the architectural design. And as we'll see now, we've got a RPZ, TMV, or a tempering valve. You can pick what you want. That snaps to the nearest pipes, and by highlighting fixtures and the valves, auto connecting, the roughing is automatically done. So we've got an algorithm that looks where the walls are. So as you see in this example, it knows based on the fixture orientation that the pipe can run in the wall, but understands that this is, it could run around, but it's a pretty far distance. So it comes up into the ceiling, drops back down and connects to the shower. And by taking this to the, well, by stamping the fixtures, we'll see in a second, we get more accurate results like pressures, dead legs. And what we're just showing here with the valves is you can add ball valves, water meters, RPZs, pretty much everything again, strainers, everything's got a KV value. So the more you stamp these, the more pressure loss there'll be in your system. In addition to all the bends and T's, which are automatically recognized. And we can just see that all the pressure drop through the valves, and we can see here we've got an issue. So because the pressure at the fixture is below 200 kPa, very clear to see that there's a problem. And we don't fix it in this example, but we can, if we wanted to, we could go back in, add a booster pump, and put pressure reduction valves, whatever we need to do. So yeah, just in that video is 3 minutes long, not even, and we're able to design this, which I know is small, but just gives a good example of the efficiencies. And, next one. So,
hey Johnny, can I jump in for 2 seconds?
Yeah, sure.
Just because I have used it myself, but I don't think you explained it. Just how you actually are doing this. So it's the fact that it's a PDF in a browser like Google Chrome. So you load the PDF into the browser, and then you scale the PDF. So when Johnny was saying earlier that it calculates the pipe size, that's based on you inputting the scale of your PDF and then drawing over the top of it through your web browser.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so when you draw your pipe, yeah, if it's 10 meters long, it recognizes that. So the pressure loss is calculated at that distance, and heat loss as well, calculated at that distance. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that, Nick. And then also just this second video, I just wanted to tie it into some of the work that HCAA has been doing with Deakin University in relation to the peak flow rates, which Nick also just mentioned earlier on. So for those that weren't at the last presentation, Brendan presented on the data that HCAA has collected on buildings. It's been nearly a year now, I think just over a year, across New South Wales and Canberra. And the results show that, I think we all know, but the Australian standards are incredibly oversized. But like with the performance solution that's being provided, the German DIN standard is very accurate. I think it's like 27% of the Australian standards. And in this video, pardon me, just wanted to show what an effect it would have and how easy it is to change from the Australian standards to one of the international ones like the DIN. So just before I start the video, we can see, so in the bottom left, you always have the calculations there, some important information. So we can see based on AS 3500.1 dwellings, peak PSD is 11.5 litres per second. That's equivalent to 150 mil copper cold water pipe and 150 mil hot water as well. And then a recent feature we've just added is a cost budget as well. So the more pipes you draw, the more the cost goes up. The bigger the pipes, the higher the cost again. So it's a good feature that helps us analyze designs. But I'll just go ahead and click play. So as just mentioned, 150 mil pipes. We just go into the settings, change it to the DIN. Oh, I'm not sure how that happened. Sorry, I'll just skip back. Okay, we just change it to the DIN. And then we can see instantly the flow rates come down from 11.5. Whoops, too fast. 11.5 down to less than 3, and that's equivalent of a 65 mil cold water pipe and 80 mil hot water pipe, and the heat losses obviously come down as well. And then if we just want to take it even further, we can come into the flow systems, cold water, and we can change the maximum velocity from 1.5 to 3, which is still compliant. And then there we go. It's actually a 40 mil supply to the building. Hot water stays the same because it's not edited, and we can see that the project cost comes down as well. So this would work well with the performance solutions that Nick was just talking about. The template is pretty much ready to go. You just need to add calculations, which can be exported straight from the software, and yeah, just fill in generic information like company name. And yeah, I suppose this is just a summary really. I suppose most projects end up over budget. We're asked by the client to do value engineering. And as we just saw, H2X lets you do this with ease. So just looking at the 3 different options we went through, you could simply provide to your client, look, we can stick with the deed to satisfy, relatively expensive, really high flow rates, really large pipes that are taking up space. If you're feeling adventurous, we could go with the DIN, still compliant, just need a performance solution, brings the flow rates down drastically, brings the cost down, pipe sizes down as well. And if you're feeling even more adventurous, you can also upsize it to 3 meters per second, which is still compliant. It's a bit unusual, but yeah, and you can instantly give them a dollar value saving as well. And I suppose the opportunities are endless. I've kind of just selected a few different things, but you can change insulation thickness, pipe layouts, materials, different hot water system types. Yeah, you can really keep flicking your way through. I suppose you're just in the interest of time, aren't able to go through all the benefits, but what we've seen there is it's fast, it's accurate, it's flexible, and it provides a cost as well. It's also easy to redesign, so when you receive new architectural layouts, you simply just replace the PDF, insert the new one, and the updated background will appear with the current hydraulic layout, and then easily you can see where the changes are, so you can just drag components around, add new fixtures and pipes where required, and delete some as well if that's also required. Also an opportunity to standardize outcomes from your office, something we didn't think of when we were developing the software, but it's a benefit that pretty much every company's mentioned to us, especially the larger companies. So they no longer need to deal with employees having uncontrolled spreadsheets from previous employees in the past 10 or 20 years. They can standardize the outcomes, and as you can see in the image, export's very presentable as well. So you can just select what results you want to export and append it to your design report or whatever you'd like to. You're also able to share a link, so you can share a read-only version of your project. This is helpful if you want to send it to external project managers, maybe your peer review consultant, even plumbing contractors, especially now the cost is involved. And also you can share it internally, so you can send it to your manager for review. But a good feature is you can send it to your drafter as well. So a good benefit of sending it to your drafter is they have access to all the information they need without having to ask you those simple, annoying questions. So when we give a drafter a markup on there's only so much information you can fit on a 1:100 PDF. Whereas if you send them the link to H2X, it's got a similar approach to Google Maps, where the closer you zoom in, the information will appear. When you zoom out, just the key information will appear. So just using the example on the screen, there's from relatively zoomed out position, there's no information on the pipe that connects to the hot water plant. But if you're the drafter, you literally just zoom in, and not only do you see the pipe size, but you can also turn the result filter on, which shows the height above the floor. So if they're copying it in Revit, very helpful for them too. And just the last one is, it's very easy to review. So all the results are assigned specifically to the component. So there's no confusion trying to correlate between a result on a spreadsheet to the correct component on the drawing. So in the example here, you can clearly see which pipes need to be what size, and if there is a pressure problem, like we've got in the example, cold water pressure required to be 200 and it's not, you can quickly see that drawings aren't correct to be sent out for tender or construction. I'm continuously improving the product, so we've made over 100 updates since January and we'll continue to do so. Next major items will be including our sewer drainage, gas, and stormwater. So we want to be a central location for all design and calculations relating to hydraulics. And following that, we're looking to implement an automatic schematic. So whatever you draw in the floor plan view will be instantly replicated in schematic view. So as soon as you make a change, you might delete a level, your pipe might go bigger, it's instantly reflected in the schematic. And following that, we'll be looking to export into Revit and CAD. Yeah, and in terms of industry adoption, if you're conscious of these inefficiencies, you're not alone. In January this year, we completed our beta phase of our early adopters, so you can see on the screen. Just wanted to put them up there because they were really good with us in the beginning, put up with some inefficiencies. But fast forward 6 months and we're solving the problem for companies around the world. There's been over 200 projects completed in the software, more than 50 organizations with over 80 users, and just recently, with the inclusion of the British standards, it's allowed us to go across 7 countries. So, and just at the bottom there, we've aligning ourselves with industry-leading brands. So we got Rehau and Kembler currently already in the software. Kalefi will be added this week, and then following that will be Grundfos. And with Grundfos, when you design your hot water system, your UPS pump will be specified automatically with the correct setting. So very helpful. And just to reinforce the efficiencies, the end users are reporting about 80% time savings. And the interesting thing I see from this is that whether it's meant to be 5 hour traditional design time that's down to 1 hour, or if it's 5 days down to 1 day, the efficiencies are pretty much identical. So it's not just for large complex projects, it's for any smaller projects too, and anything in between. And some familiar faces down the bottom, but it's not just about the efficiencies, it's also about increasing the quality as well. And just with some of the testimonials there, the companies are reporting that, increasing the quality using the software, which is nice to hear. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me. So if you've heard enough tonight, you can literally go to the website, sign yourself up for a free account. If you've got any questions, you can schedule a free introduction session to with our development team. It'll happy to share screens, work for any projects with you, or alternatively shoot an email and me or Jordan will respond and help you out. And if you're not yet convinced, we understand. We just ask, just please bear us in mind if you've ever using traditional methods ever again. There is an alternative out there. But yeah, and that's everything. So thanks for listening. And
thanks, Johnny. Do you want to run that poll, Em, for Johnny, just to see if anyone's interested in? This is just for a CPD session, just so Johnny gets an idea of who's interested.
Cheers.
And how long does is it a half-hour presentation you do for your CPD session, or?
Yeah, it's half an hour, but if people have projects they want to work through, it can go on to an hour really. But
yeah.
So yeah, between 30 minutes and an hour. But I suppose the first 30 would be similar to what we just did then, in a little bit more detail. And second 30, I suppose people could leave if they wanted to.
Okay, and then how long is the trial?
Sorry. So we've released what's called freemium, which is pretty much there's a free version similar to Zoom actually. So there's a free version if unlimited size, unlimited pipes, just limited on the amount of fixtures and nodes. So pretty much you can go there and sign yourself up for free and use it for small projects. But if you do any larger projects, it's a 30-day free trial. So you just can experience all the benefits. And if you don't want to proceed after that, everything's read only, so it's not like you lose your calculations or anything. So
Okay.
yeah.
Does anyone want to jump in and ask Johnny any questions?
All right, easy.
Yeah. I guess some of the questions I had early on were, sorry, I just closed that poll now. Let's minimize it. Yeah, so some of the questions I had were, if you want to save the results so that they're not stuck on the internet, how do you, like, can you do file save as and save a PDF of the results onto your computer? Because I haven't actually, like, I've mainly had Aaron that works with me. He's done most of the calcs on the jobs I've done, but I know you didn't have that feature originally, but have you integrated that now?
Yeah. So you can download a PDF of all your results. It comes with a cover sheet as well, so it tells you what your design parameters are, so what the maximum velocity is, what materials you've used, what standard you've used for pipe sizing.
Yeah, and it has your background drawing with all the pipe sizes shown on it as well.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's got everything you've drawn, and you can select every result if you wanted, so pressure loss, velocities, hot water return. But at the same time, you can just choose, and you can just show pipe sizes if you want to.
All right. Well, if no one else has any other questions, that was my main one, because I know you couldn't do that originally, but I know you're working on it. So yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot for that. And we'll get Rehal. Nick, do you want to jump in and take control? I don't know if we have to. Do you want to give control to Nick? Unless he's already got it.
No, I don't. Are you going to put it through?
I think Em will have to. Our questions came up for Johnny in the comments section while we're trying to give you. Does the software do hydraulic simulations? I think Johnny might have gone there. It's all right. I'm clicking on your name, Nick, but it's not letting me.
I've given you co-host, so you should be able to share your screen if you go down to the bottom panel and there's a green button in the middle.
I'll say I'll do it from my PowerPoint.
Oh, yeah, you do it from yours, yeah. Yeah, because I think the admin settings are different in this one to our test run we did earlier today.
Oh, okay. No problems at all. All right. So getting it through now. There's a slight delay. Sorry, guys. I've gone from the start. Okay, can you see screen now for our Titan systems?
Not yet. Unless I'm on the exit full screen.
What about now?
Nick, you may need to stop your video and then share your screen.
You want me to share my screen? I can share my screen.
No, sorry, two Nicks all at once. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay, got it. Yep.
So can you see the PowerPoint screen or just the slide screens?
We can see all of it. It's not in the presenter view yet.
You share screen 2. Share. Sorry, guys.
That's it. Yep, we've got you now.
Is
Yeah,
that
there you
it
go.
on there now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Em. Yeah, just a quick introduction on Rio Titan system. So we're going to go through some clean water solutions that Rio's been working on in the past, I'll say 6 months, 2 years. So lead-free and Legionella control solutions. So I'll skip through a couple of slides. Just going to click on the right screen. So look, just a quick slide here. Look, you know, Rio's been around for a long time, since 1948, and you know, just look through our innovation channels here. So we are an innovative company, and we're looking. There's a lot of things in the pipeline at the moment as well. You know, from you know, all different walks of life and different industries. You know, and some of the key highlights for Rio is, you know, in the automotive sector. You know, there's a status for Rio that, you know, we manufacture bumper bars for, you know, companies like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, Peugeot, so many of the European car manufacturers. And then if you look at the quality side of things, so the Ariane space rocket, in the industry sector of Rio, we manufacture a lot of different polymer components, which is a big weight factor for the aerospace industry. And then in construction, you know, we look at emotion projects, you know, where, you know, the Allianz Arena in Germany, where we've got turf heating. So when it does snow, they don't cancel soccer games, for example, because that costs them millions, and for the crowd as well. So Rio Titan systems, underfloor heating systems in the most prestigious projects around the world as well. But look, in the construction side, you know, products that, you know, have been known and trusted for Rio for many years. You know, the polymer sleeves got introduced in 2012 and we sold over 800 million to date. The benefits of the polymer sleeve is it's reversible. So from both sides, it's flexible, and the tooling is a lot easier to use on site for the contractors. The polymer fittings, you know, our claim to fame there is, you know, 0.0001% manufacturing defect. So, you know, because we control the manufacturing process, we test the raw material before it gets entered into the machines. So we will also do some testing on the product before it even leaves the manufacturing plant. Our brass fittings, you know, Rio's specialties at our brass for our standard Rio Titan system. You know, the Australian standards minimum requirement is 100 parts per million of designification depth, whereas Rio standard is actually at 50. So we definitely take it serious when we look at designification in brass fittings. With the pipe, you know, 1 billion metres of pipe have been manufactured from Rio. You know, that's 7.5 times from Earth to Moon and back. So, you know, there is a lot of research into the pipe. You know, we continue to manufacture the same pipe, the same quality, the same standard, using the same raw materials. So we always keep on top of how we manufacture our pipe as well. And look, a national support, you know, we are based in Australia. We've got a sales and technical team in each state. So, you know, also working with Jonathan with H2X, you know, we're able to give him the data that's required for programs like that as well. And he's got the backup locally that he can rely on, as well as obviously the consultants and contractors. So that's obviously what we've been going through many years, and now our next trust factor as well. So a reference from the US standard. So the Safe Drinking Water Act establishes the definition for lead-free as a weighted average of 0.25% lead calculated across the wetted surface of a pipe fitting and plumbing fitting. So with Rio, we have gone a step past that as well. which I'll go through in a second as well. Just to go through some media coverage, I know when I can't remember the manufacturer, but did a presentation at the HCAA when COVID, just before COVID actually did hit, and went through their lead-free tapware solutions and went through some of this documentation as well. But look, the plumbing connection, you know, the Perth Children's Hospital, the amount of media going behind these sort of projects. You know, with nHealth, there's guideline, you know, lead in drinking water from some plumbing products. So, you know, nHealth recommends that every effort should be made to reduce exposure to lead in the environment. So, you know, once again, these things, that was back in July 2018, you know, Rehal is slowly getting, you know, we've got the systems available in Europe and we are bringing them to Australia as well. And then the VSBA Building Authority handbook with drinking fountains. You know, they need to be made from lead-free or lead-safe products. So it's no good having a lead-safe or lead-free, you know, tap. You need to worry about the pipework and the fittings that's obviously feeding that tapware as well. So, and that's where a company like Rehal comes in. So gradually more focus and concern is being laid on lead content in water. You know, authorities and consumers moving towards lead-free options for their own safety. So, and that's a key for us, is we're getting contacted on a daily, weekly basis, asking more and more about when is Rehal bringing out a product, and we're basically there now, which we'll go through. So as a result, so an ABC report, lead in plumbing products and materials, the statement of the performance requirements for maximum allowable lead concentrations for metal and metal alloy components in contact with hot water of a maximum of 4.5%, with lead solder being limited to 0.1%. So in saying that, the recommendations coming from that is only low lead or preferably lead-free plumbing components should be used. You know, a maximum of 0.25 lead content as a preferred lead-free definition, and that's a statement from PPI in 2018. So considering that, consider whether there is a need for formal guidelines related to the flushing of water service lines, where there is or has been low water demand or standing water in services lines for extended periods, such as schools following vacation periods. So look at you know, schools and vacation periods. Look at hotels at the moment that they're going through with vacancy rates. You know, to flush these services can be detrimental to the workload of the hotels or the schools long term. And we'll actually branch more into that in the Legionella part of our presentation as well. So it is our understanding that the ABCB will actually implement requirements on maximum lead levels for drinking water plumbing components in the NCC 2022. The last NCC update was 2019, and the next one will be 2025. But we actually see the requirements now, and there are some hydraulic consultants and some healthcare professionals that actually started to put in their specifications. We know in Victoria, the VBA with their schools and school programs, that they are actually specifying lead-free pipework as well from now. So as a result, Rehal's decided to offer a lead-free water solution in 2020. So to go into a bit more detail on that there. So Rehal's proposition, you know, a trusted and affordable lead-free HCAA piping system that delivers clean and safe drinking water to the community. So lead-free Rehal Titan is what the name would be, and there's 53 lead articles made of a gunmetal and 11 polymer fittings that are part of the range as well. So to give you an idea, so lead-free gunmetal, Rehal's solution is copper, zinc, and tin. So previous to that, our normal Rehal Titan is made of copper, zinc, and lead. So we've taken the lead content out. We've actually inputted zinc, tin, which is the SN. And we're going to be having the system at 0.1% lead with proven corrosion resistance. Okay. So this system has been used in Europe for many years already. Those standards changed there some time ago. As we all know, Australia is generally walking a little bit behind, and having companies like Rehal, a German company, that we have got access to that a lot sooner. So we're looking to bring that to Australia a lot sooner as well. gunmetal as an alloy for hydrous for this system is 16 to 25 mil, and available in threaded and non-threaded where the PXSR is not available. So the PXSR is our polymer range, which we'll go into here. So the PXSR fittings, you'll notice the SR, which is attached to the PX portion of our communication now. So meaning solvent resistant. So in the past, there are some liquid thread sealants and some harmful chemicals that can have an effect on polymers. So Real would prefer to be risk-free, and I would prefer to be risk-free and sell the market. So we have brought in a new polymer fitting into the marketplace, which is called PXSR, for safe for the community and safe for the project as well. These fittings, of course, 0% lead for hygienic and future-proof drinking water. Obviously, 100% corrosion-proof. The sizes are 16 to 20 millimeters. Obviously, only polymer fittings will come as non-threaded as well, and as I stated earlier, solvent resistant. So to give you a bit of an indication on the price situation, this is looking at a single house lot, and this is a Real estimation. We look at some costs of what it would be for Real Rail Titan. So the bottom section, the light grey being pipe, the green section threaded, non-threaded the pink, the darker grey is our sleeves, and then our labour content in black. So there are obviously alternatives already available in lead-free, and then we've got our lead-free Rail Titan. So alternative one, the pipe is more expensive. The fittings, the threaded fittings and the non-threaded fittings are quite cheap, but the labour is expensive. The next one, obviously the threaded fittings and non-threaded get more expensive. But then you look at where lead-free Rail Titan sits. So the key message here is the only thing that increases from your current Real range for a project, the only thing that will increase is the threaded fittings. Our pipe doesn't change, our labour doesn't change, our non-threaded fittings don't change due to them being polymer. The only thing that will change is the threaded fittings. Okay, so there is a significant saving from our lead-free Rail Titan compared to alternatives currently available. But also you can sort of see the increase, if you can see my screen here, the increase from the black line to our current Rail Titan is limited. To get further details on those and costs, I can do as a one-on-one, send me an email communication, and we can communicate some further costs to you, because we like to do that in line with the contractor, so they can work with you on their costs to what they could be as well. So the range for 2020 is obviously our pipe is 0% lead, our fittings PXSR are 0% lead, our Rail Titan gunmetal fittings is 0.1% lead, and our sleeves obviously at 0% lead as well. So look, to break this all down, if you are looking for a safe drinking water and peace of mind and affordable price, lead-free Rail Titan is the solution. So, we've been a trusted manufacturer in the industry for so long with our compression sleeve technology, our backup. So for Real, we would definitely love to see. We'd definitely love to see this system being in projects in the future. There is a poll going through as well. We will conduct training on site. We conduct training sessions for the hydraulic engineers as well. So we do have that availability. One slide I didn't put in here was myreal.com. So if you write that down, myreal.com, that's our training platform, but also where all your downloads are live 24/7. So as soon as there's an update on anything Real, it all goes on myreal.com. So yeah, look, appreciate it if, for the hydraulic engineers out there, we'll just put that poll forward. Like I say, we're getting a lot of inquiries now. Stock is becoming available in the coming months, and yeah, we're looking forward to working with everyone with lead-free in the future.
So Nick,
I'll now hand over to Christoph. Sorry, is there any questions?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know when Galvin did their talk on lead-free, the only state that currently regulates that you must use lead-free is Victoria. Is that right? In the schools?
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
But
that's right.
are you aware of anything at a federal or state level anywhere else that is likely to come out soon? Because that's what this poll is about. You know, if it was mandatory, everyone has to do it. But at the moment, unless you're working in Victoria, then there's nothing saying we have to specify these lead-free products. So are you guys aware of any workings to mandate this outside of, the current requirement in the schools in Victoria? Is that a question for Christoph? Does he know? No.
Yeah, well, Christoph or I can answer it. Look, at this stage, there is no requirements, but we are starting to get some specifications come through that some consultants are preferring to go this way already. And some of those consultants are global consulting companies. They do work in other countries, and they are looking to get the added advantage, in Australia from the start. So we are starting to see some of those specifications come through.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Nick. No, Nick, have you actually spoken to the Department for Education in other states regarding this at all? Have you approached them?
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, Nick. Paul in there.
Oh, Paul, how you going?
Have you actually approached Department for Education in other states and actually presented these products to them to give them an insight into what's currently available on the market?
We have only gone a certain length there. We're waiting on getting the stock all approved for Australia. Now that's done, we will basically hit the market. This is the first official lead-free presentation that we've done in Australia. So after this, we will start that rollout. Like say for South Australia, I have spoken to John, I've emailed through to John, so I've started communicating through DipType. But yeah, we will start. Basically today is almost the start of that, so we'll get through that very soon.
Okay, thanks.
There's no more questions. We'll just jump onto Legionella. So Christoph Schrader, our technical director, he will run us through a 10 minutes on the Legionella.
Yeah, thank you, Nick, and hello everyone. Look, I would like to get control of the screen first. Hang on. Hope that works now. Yes, okay. As Nick mentioned, I would like to speak about new fittings that are actually part of our new lead-free raw titan range, and they're intended to help in the control of Legionella. And how that works, a little bit of background, a little bit of design guidelines, and also some examples. This is what I would like to present tonight. And again, why is that? Sorry, I can't get the control up, obviously. All right, okay. So Legionella control is part of the larger picture protecting drinking water. And as part of the protecting drinking water, we as designers need to avoid a few things or consider a few things. For example, avoiding cross connections with other systems to avoid cross contaminations. Also, oversized pipes should be avoided. Oversized pipes means that there is not enough velocity and not enough flow rate. So that means it could be that the water on the outside of the pipe is not exchanged regularly, which also leads to problems with the quality of the drinking water. Another very important factor is maintaining the correct operating temperatures. And if I say correct operating temperatures, that means cold water should remain cold and hot water should remain hot. So particularly the area around 20 to 45 degrees should be avoided, because this is where Legionella will grow very, very fast. It doesn't mean that it doesn't grow below 20 or just above 45, but it will grow slower. And another thing is also dead legs should be avoided, and dead legs is just defined in the new draft of NZS 3500.0 2020, just came out, as mentioned by Nick Soden before. It's defined as a section of pipe that does not allow water in the pipe to circulate and or flow, e.g. pipes capped at the point of use. So a pipe that is really closed off is a dead leg, is defined as a dead leg. And also idle legs. And idle legs is defined as pipe lengths that are not regularly flushed, i.e. unused for 7 days. And this is a definition that I have taken from the N-Health guidelines for Legionella control from 2015. And this is the focus that I have in this presentation today. So how to avoid these idle legs. Before I go into the details, I would like to give a little bit more background on this N-Health Legionella control document. This is a federal document. You can download it officially on health.gov.au. It is also linked by Health NSW on their website. And it is intended for mainly the operator of the system in health and aged care facilities, the operator of water distribution systems. So it is a document that describes risk assessments and provides guidelines to avoid risks around Legionella, not around cooling towers, but particularly for water distribution systems. And what is interesting is that on page 13, this guideline defines or has identified idle legs as a stagnation concern. And these are pipe lengths that are not regularly flushed, e.g. when a patient bathroom is unused for 7 days. And on page 21, they make the recommendation that the Legionella risk management team should consider in their operational routine a weekly flushing of unused outlets. Now, this is quite onerous to ask that. And if you look at outside of health and aged care facilities, avoiding idle legs, how is that possible? Or where else can that occur? We've just seen hospitals in aged care. Yes, of course, you can have patient bathrooms that are unused for more than 7 days. But now in this current situation, look at hotels and apartments. They're also unused for longer periods of times. Look at sports halls when they are unused for longer periods. Or an emergency shower. Emergency showers are not intended to be used regularly. So this is definitely a idle leg that is sitting there and should be flushed every 7 days if you follow these guidelines and apply it to this application. Or also in schools during vacation periods. So the question is, for a designer, how can we design better systems that takes away this requirement for the operator to flush these systems every 7 days? Are there options out there to make it really simple? And with the new fittings, we are now providing this solution that are part of our lead-free range. And I would like to show you now some examples of how these fittings work. So to start, I would like to explain how the most commonly used, our T-piece installation is our most commonly used system, how that works. So the T-piece installation is really having branches to every outlet. And when you use these fixtures, the outlets, then of course you have the water flow. I would like to show you a short video on how this looks like. Hope that works now. Yes, so what we see here is we have these parts, there are clear pipelines that we can see inside. And this one is a water coloring device. So when they push a button, this device will actually color the water. So what they've done now, they have opened both outlets, both fixtures. They push this button, they color the water so that you can see that this is the water inside the pipe system. And now we look at what happens when we open only this one outlet. So what you can see, without pushing the button, no color is coming in, the fresh water flushes this pipeline, but the unused idle leg in this case is not flushed through. of course, it's the T-piece installation. This is an idle leg, not used when the fixture is not opened. Only when this fixture is finally opened, then this branch is also flushed out. Now, as a second explanation, this is a dead leg, a proper dead leg. So there's no fixture at the end. And they use now a different button to color that water. And what can be seen here is if you have these dead legs and you have a source of bacteria and you open a perfectly fine section of pipe that can actually be contaminated repeatedly with bacteria when you open this fixture. So this is why dead legs and idle legs should be avoided. It's a very, very good explanation here in this T-piece video. The question is now, how can this be done best? And the target is quite simple. Just reduce the length of the branch line. So one example would be to have the branch line as short as possible before you connect it to the fixture. And on top of that, to make it even more simpler, if you could combine, these are two fittings, a T-piece and a number 19 BP, or here a T-piece and again a number 19 BP. If you combine these two fittings into one fitting, then you don't really have long branch lines because you feed the water through the fitting like this. And these are the fittings that we have now in our range, in our new lead-free Route Titan range. These, we call them U-bend fittings or double elbow fittings, which represent the combination of a T-piece and a number 19 BP. And how that system works, I would like to show, hang on, what's now? Nick, have I done something? Can you please? Sorry for that. Right, yeah, so this is the video. In this case, this is the installation with that special fitting behind here and here. We open this fixture to let the water flow out, and the colored water now comes from the top side, so we color all the water in. When we now look at this section, again the clear pipe, and we open one of these fixtures, which will happen in a second in this video. So they open this fixture now. You can see that all the pipeline upstream of that fixture is flushed through. So this fitting, the use of that fixture will actually flush through everything that is upstream of the fixture due to the installation in series. And if you flush the last fixture, then you flush the whole installation at once, and you actually avoid idle legs to all fixtures. So if you have fixtures, and this is only required for fixtures that are really not used regularly, because here in this case, you see we have a combination of fixtures that are deemed to be used not regularly, like this one and this one. They are installed in series. And then we have two fixtures like this one and this one. They are deemed to be used more often as per the operational schedule that you've received, and they are installed only as T-piece installation. But this can be changed depending on the project, and actually you save even a few fittings, because out of two fittings you just make one. And to make it even easier, if you don't have any fixture that is used by the user, one of these fixtures, the last one, could be an automatic fixture, like an automatic tap or something like that in a hotel room. That can be used as the last fixture, and that is then switched to, let's say, flush once a week, and that would flush the whole line in this hotel room. Right, my last slide shows a design example. This is how it could look like in a real installation. So you have your installation from fixture to fixture. You use these special fittings that are 2 fittings in one in certain locations, and where you don't need it, where you have a regular flush, you use the normal standard fittings. So this is the presentation on how to avoid idle legs and therefore control Legionella. Are there any questions that I can answer?
Christopher, are these fittings lead-free? Are they available in lead-free option?
Paul, yes, they are. So this is part of our new lead-free raw Titan range. And as that range, we have implemented these fittings, and they are available for specification in projects.
Okay, thanks.
How much more does one of those U fittings cost over a standard fitting?
Nick, very good question. They are more expensive than a standard fitting, of course, but you save on one fitting and a few connections. So overall, we have not done the calculation to the nth degree. And that also depends on the project, but we could look into that, let's say on a project basis. If there are questions, then we can look into it and come up with a...
Yeah, that's right. It was more of a, yeah, it's one of the things, will be thrown at you from site, that it's more expensive, but you've designed it for a specific purpose, so that really becomes irrelevant. Are there any other alternatives on the market that sell this product, or are you guys the only ones?
No, there are alternatives in the market, particularly in Europe, where this comes from. And the European manufacturers, they are looking into that, of course. Again,
so locally, is there a product locally? Because you're saying the European market, but is there anything sold in Australia?
Nick, do you know that?
Not at this stage, no.
Okay.
Not in the PEX side of things anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's copper obviously solutions, but yeah, in the PEX market or industry, there's nothing at this stage.
Okay. Thanks. Anyone else have any questions? You can, if you don't want to talk, you can type a message into the chat if you prefer to send a question through the chat. Otherwise, we'll move across to the diploma update from Rod. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Christoph. So I don't know. Do you want to share your screen, Rod? Like, do you have anything to share on the screen, or are you just going to?
Look, I will at the moment. I could probably just start off me chatting to start with. Thanks everyone for a bit of time tonight. I guess it's quite pleasing to be able to talk to you tonight, because normally we're talking about all the problems in the industry and how we're going to solve them and all these good new products to use. But I think tonight I get to talk about something that's a bit of a good news story, if you like. It's been a little while in the process, but gladly we have finally got our 3 cadets for 2020. I'd probably like to start by thanking Nick, I think, who has supported this from day dot, and certainly wouldn't have happened without him. And probably more importantly, for HCAA, we would only have had one, but without the help of our affiliates, Ream and Vega, they've been able to provide enough funding to do 3. So I'll start off by just announcing the 3 successful candidates. So we've got Jacob Begg, Peter Collis, and Ty Huggins. Now, I'll ask if you 3 can turn on your cameras and your mics, just so everyone can sort of see your faces and get to know you. And same thing for Reem Vega. So I think Daryl is here, and maybe Gore and Stephen. So look, all I wanted to probably say was, look, it was pretty. I've never had to do a sort of a process like this in selecting candidates. it was pretty difficult. I thought it would be a lot easier, but it's refreshing to see that there are so many young people around. I mean, we end up with 17 applications for the 3 spots. Really came down to splitting hairs, like a lot of people that are motivated, a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of people that have history in the industry, whether it's parents or grandparents that have been plumbers or consultants. So really, really glad that we could get some good people on board. So I think we might start with, how about start with Jacob, if you want to shut your mic on, and if there's anything you want to say to the group, and now's your time.
Yeah. First thing I just want to say is a big thank you to the HCAA for putting this on, because as I'm sure everyone is aware, it's pretty difficult to find your path into finding what you need to do in order to get the appropriate qualifications and things like that. And it's definitely made it a lot easier for myself to get to that end goal that I'm looking for. And especially a big thank you to Vega and Reem for participating and inputting into it, because I think not just myself but all the other cadets also would appreciate it as well. So big thank you, and thank you for selecting me.
No problem. Peter, are you there? Still muted and
oh yeah, 1 second, sorry, it wasn't working.
No worries. Welcome. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the LM members?
Yeah, just big thanks to everybody, and looking over my application, and yeah, really grateful for getting accepted. So yeah.
Excellent. And Ty?
Sorry?
And Ty Huggins?
Yeah, just going off on the back of what the other cadets said. Yeah, big thanks to everyone involved, and big thanks to TAFE also to provide the course for us to move forward with their career path. So it's very exciting, and hopefully good things come of it.
I'm sure they will. So Daryl or Stephen or Gul, would any of you guys like to say a few words?
Yeah,
how about Daryl first?
It's Daryl Vernon from Reem. I'll say a couple of words. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate the 3 successful candidates, this is a fantastic initiative as well that's been created by the HCAA, especially Rod and Nick and everyone involved. So thank you very much for that. I'd also like to thank Vega as well as a co-sponsor, so that we can get an extra person involved there, which was great. And from Reem, I'd like to extend the support to all the candidates, like we do with all hydraulic engineers as well. So as you evolve and move through your chosen field, we're always here to help you technically and provide that assistance for you. So congratulations, and good luck with all your endeavours, and we're here to help you.
Nice one. Thanks, Daryl. Stephen, do you want to say something?
Sure, Rod. Yeah, well, firstly, I want to congratulate HCAA and Rod for putting together the program. I know it's been a long time coming and a lot of hard work, so it's good to see the fruits of the work finally hit the market. It's a privilege to be a part of it, and on behalf of Vega, we're proud to sponsor HCAA and the cadets in this endeavour. Training and development is a big part of Vega's culture. We have seminar centres across the world, and we are also upgrading our seminar centre and training facility here in Sydney. So it just fits in very well with our culture, and again, just really pleased to be a part of it. Congratulations to the 3 cadets. I know that it was very close and it wasn't easy for you to select, and also a shout out to the other cadets that didn't quite make it, or that were close in theirs. I hope that they are encouraged or continue with the diploma regardless. And that's about me. But
right.
Well done.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
Look, just on that, look, I have had some feedback from some of the other cadets who weren't selected, and they've asked for some feedback on what they could have done better, or what they should be doing, or where they should be heading. I'm happy to provide that information and help those guys out as much as we can. like you say, Stephen, the overwhelming thing is like, please go do the diploma, get educated, and hopefully see you in the industry in the near future. I was just going to share a photo. Nick, I'm disabled. Am I able to just share a quick picture? So, or M?
I think M has to do it.
Right, there we go. All right, so we've got a photo on screen there, hopefully. Look, this is the generosity. I thought we were doing pretty well as the HCAA. We bought the guys a compendium, a nice fancy pen, and a copy of the pipe friction handbook, thinking that was somewhat generous, but Reem and Vega have gone a little over the top. You can see there's notebooks, rulers, tape measures, drink bottles, stubby holders, eskies, backpack, umbrellas, jumpers, shirts, the whole kit. There's a couple of bits that aren't included in that. Nick's organised a couple of HCA shirts and some caps as well. And what was in that photo was the compendium. But we were going to hang on to that, thinking that the next general meeting was supposedly going to be held in Kirribilli face to face, and we really wanted to sort of introduce or hand over this stuff to the guys. I feel 3 days ago was fairly confident that was going to happen. Now that these blips are getting bigger and bigger, I'm not so sure. Nick's just throwing that up there for the next meeting. Look, if it does look like we're going to end up being back online again by September, then we'll probably deliver the goods to the guys. And look, I wish them all the best in their endeavours. I hope the diploma goes really well. And yeah, for you guys, let us know if you got any questions or need some support. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Rod. And yeah, I know you've personally put a lot of volunteer effort into making this happen. So yeah, a big thank you from me personally for all of your efforts. There's been, between this and the diploma, there's been huge amounts of effort that's gone in, and it's just great to finally see. Yeah, I mean, I started personally on the committee, I think about 8 years ago now, and yeah, we often talked about education and how we can do it better, and it's great to see 8 years later we're finally starting to kick some goals, and that things don't always happen. They don't always happen quickly, but yeah, eventually, if you put enough effort in, you can, even as volunteers, we can still achieve good things, and with the support of the affiliates, the money. I guess for the people that are still listening, other plans we do have on the wish list, but it will take us years to try and do it, is we'd like to see support from the federal government financially. So instead of enrolling in the diploma in New South Wales and getting a $20,000 subsidy from the government, we would like to see that as a national grant, so that no matter where you live in Australia, you can be subsidised. That's yeah, again, I don't think that's going to be easy to achieve, but it's something we would like to see happen, and that way everyone's on a level playing field, and we can make this a dream for anyone in Australia. And yes, to Ty, Jacob, and Peter, congratulations on getting getting this position this year, and for any of the affiliates that are interested in sponsoring someone next year, get in touch with us. And a reminder too of the corporate membership. We don't have that many. I think we've got about 10 businesses that are currently corporate members, but probably 50 that could be. So if you're not currently a corporate member, the money goes back into this education fund to support the next generation of hydraulic consultants and engineers. And yeah, that's all I wanted to really throw in was my support for everything Rod's done and Tafe's done, and yeah, so thanks. And I hope everyone enjoyed tonight. The plan for our next meeting is, as Rod said, face to face, Kirribilli Club in 2 months' time. Again, with everything happening in Melbourne, I can't say that I would be surprised if suddenly New South Wales goes into lockdown in 3 or 4 weeks. I really hope that doesn't happen. But all it took last time was we had our meeting planned for Canberra, and we had the meeting in Sydney, and then a week later we had to cancel Canberra, and that's how quickly it all happened. So hopefully, hopefully we can have those 3 face-to-face meetings, but 1 week after the other. And a reminder, as an affiliate, if you happen to be in Sydney, you're entitled through your membership to attend meetings in Sydney, Adelaide, or Canberra, all as part of your membership fees, and that goes to all members. If you happen to be in another state on those particular days, you're welcome to attend the meetings without having to pay any additional fees or join up with that particular chapter. So pretty much wraps everything up. If anyone's interested in discussing that whole national qualifications more, then send us an email so we can talk through that a bit more. If you've got questions regarding qualifications in New South Wales, send an email through to admin and we'll answer that for you. And if not, hopefully we'll see you in 2 months at the Sydney meeting, or Adelaide or Canberra, wherever you're based. So thanks for dialing in, and have a good week.
Awesome. Great work, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Cheers.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Nick.